Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the STEAM Forward podcast. As always, I'm your host, Savannah, and today our guest is Sophia LaCroix, and she's here to share some information about a program that she's working on known as the Green Family Foundation NeighborhoodHelp at FIU, as well as her background in arts. So please help me welcome Miss Sophia.
STEAM Forward podcast.
Well, hello, Miss Sophia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Awesome. So before we talk about kind of the work you're doing now, just give us some background of who you are. Where did you grow up? What's your nationality, your background?
Sure. So my name is Sophia LaCroix. I was born and raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. In the 70s and 80s. And I left when I was a teenager.
Really?
And came to Miami. And shortly after the coup d'etat in Haiti happened, so things changed. But when I came here, I spoke mostly French and Creole.
Okay.
And quickly learned the language. So I went to school right here in Miami Gardens. And
you went to Norland High School?
I graduated from Norland.
Okay.
And what I was grateful for the most is the fact that in this country, there were opportunities that were not available to my family and I, which is the hard work in school was rewarded with scholarships. So I was fortunate enough to graduate with good enough GPA to get a full Bright Scholars Scholarship.
Oh,
and I got accepted to University of Florida. I got accepted to FIU and University of Florida, but I chose to go to UF, to Gainesville.
And what did you study there?
So here's the thing. I'm an artist.
Right.
That's my first and foremost love. And I was raised with a godfather who was having him around as he was a very wonderful architect. He was somebody that I saw on a regular basis with my godmother. And he inspired me to want to become an architect because architecture makes both art and math, since I was very good at math. But I told my mom and her husband that, okay, this is what I wanted. I wanted to get a degree in architecture and art. But they made a good point that since I did so well academically, why not become a doctor?
Oh, okay.
It made sense at the time. So I have a pre-med degree, but that was never something I had my heart set in.
And you got that at UF?
I got a bachelor's in nutritional sciences, which prepared me for medical school.
Right.
But you cannot go to medical school without financial stability and also having a green card. And at the time, I wasn't there yet.
You were just a resident?
I was a resident. And, we were going through, we're going through the motion.
Right.
So I didn't have the documents or the money to be able to afford to go to medical school. So while I worked and while trying to make up my mind about what we can do or figuring out what I can do, whether or not medical school is still an issue, I started drawing and painting. And I worked for the Department of Children and Families in economic self-sufficiency. So I learned a lot about public assistance and social work, and I just fell in love with it.
Right.
And then things kind of worked out that I started figuring out what I could do as an artist and started painting. Then I realized that through my artwork, I could get my green card, and that's how I got my green card, by demonstrating exceptional talent. But I always ended up working in some kind of service industry.
Right. So you would consider yourself more like a community-based project, working with the community, and the needs of the community.
Yes.
And so now you work for FIU,
right?
And you work for a part of FIU that is NeighborhoodHelp.
Correct.
And what exactly do you guys do in NeighborhoodHelp?
Okay, so I work for the Herbert Wertheim College of Medicine for the Green Family Foundation NeighborhoodHelp initiative. NeighborhoodHelp stands for Neighborhood Health Education Learning Program. It's an amazing program. I'm so proud of this, where we are part of the education of the students, where we send students into the community and to the homes of participants in neighborhoods that we serve that are referred to us by organizations like Peacemakers and churches, other churches and community centers, nonprofits, schools. And the students, they are paired up. It's a medical student, nursing, social work that visit under the supervision of their professors or doctors. They visit participants, and sometimes law students may be needed. And they, when they're in the home, they help through conversations and trust building the participants, whom we call household members, understand what their barriers to optimal healthcare is. And then once we figure that out, then we link them to services. But one of the most amazing things is that for those who don't have health insurance, who are available, to make themselves available 4 times a year for our students, they can get free primary care on our mobile health centers with FIU doctors.
So the students that are going into the homes are students who are enrolled at FIU. Correct.
They are medical students. And nursing. So students enrolled at FIU who are medical students, nursing, social work, and the law students, if there are legal issues, non-criminal legal issues, such as immigration, housing, or unemployment, then we refer them to our law clinic, what we call the law clinic, or medical legal clinic. And the law students work on those projects.
That's awesome. So with the students going out, is that like a form of internship, or that's kind of like their job?
It's part of the curriculum. It's a class.
Okay.
So they are assigned a household participant as early as their first year.
Oh, wow.
And they do visits quarterly, once in person, 3 times by telehealth, and supervised by the professors, and they learn to work in interdisciplinary teams by consulting with their social work and nursing counterparts, even public PA, physician assistants, so that they can help every interested member of the household create health goals and access or understand how to navigate the system. Because, there are sometimes someone may be eligible for food stamps, or they may not know how to access their retirement programs or funds with Social Security. Or maybe at the time they just need to be linked to a food bank. So they need help understanding how to navigate that whole thing.
Right. So with FIU, the Neighborhood Help Initiative, if a family is in need, how would they go about contacting and maybe getting more information about your program?
So the best way is they can call our main line, 305-919-4594. So 305-919-4594.
Yeah.
And they can get that information, or they can email me, slacroix@fiu.edu.
Yeah.
But the main line is the perfect way. Or they can come to you guys at Peacemakers, because you are able to refer to us and complete a referral form and send it to us. And what we do once someone is referred to the program is we reach out to them, and I'm a member of the outreach team. So our outreach team, our role is specifically to support the whole program by contacting participants not only at the intake process, but also to get into contact on a regular basis so that we can figure out what they need, or if there's an important information that the neighborhood, the community needs to know, especially seasonally, tax season, hurricane season, back to school fairs.
Yeah.
We share that information. And also we participate and support our partners by going to community events and being present there, so that if someone wants to speak to one of us, one of the members of the outreach team, about the program, then we can welcome them and share the information, and then welcome them.
I love this program because not only is it helping people, but on the other side of it is like there's people who, like, when they go to school, they're getting firsthand experience as to an idea of what they're studying. Because you said first year, and that doesn't normally happen. You have to wait till like 3 or 4, and then you do it, and then you're like, well, maybe I'm not a fan of this, or I want to try something else. So I love that they get to do that in their first year, just kind of a taste of what's going on.
Right, because what's great about this program is that it helps in different ways. First of all, it helps reduce the number of, and we've proven that number of visits to the ER. A lot of time, because of lack of access to healthcare, well, by having access to our professors who are doctors and the students and then our mobile health centers, even if someone has health insurance, it doesn't matter. Having a team that comes to your home to discuss your health issues, that can be your doctor's partner in your healthcare, then you're not going to necessarily wait until the last minute.
Right.
Maybe you just need a member of our outreach team. You assign outreach team member to help you call your insurance company and figure out when to get that appointment or with what doctor.
Right.
It's a question of navigation, and that's one of the things that we do.
So with the Neighborhood Talk, the Neighborhood Help initiative, is the outcome goal, is it for it to be lifelong partnership? Is it for it to be seasonal partnership? Is it to be a yearly partnership? What is the outcome measure of how you impact the people around you?
And so we're here as long as the participants need us.
Right.
And as long as they live in the areas that we serve, because we're not able to serve the entire Miami-Dade.
Right.
In pockets, like we're in Miami Gardens, Opaloka, Hialeah, Medley, the Northeast, parts of South Miami, but we're not everywhere.
Right.
So, and it has also to do a safety component, because we have to send students into a safe enough environment. So if it's an area that is known for being unsafe, we're not able to welcome the person to a program. You can imagine you're sending your child into someone's home. And of course, it's as long as the person's schedule is makes them available Monday through Saturday between 9 and 5 p.m. Because safety, we don't send students anywhere after dark. And so we're able to work with the person, but they have to have at least one of those days every 3 months where they can make time for the students. And they have to be able to communicate with the students to schedule with our team. We work with other organizations to help link them to other services. So if that's something they need, we'll figure it out. We'll work together with them. And the students, what they're getting out of this is, you're right, they're not being sent for a short period of time on their third year. The reason that we do this on the onset is that community medicine is something that there's a shortage of community doctors.
Absolutely.
So we're hoping to inspire some of them to go into community medicine, but also we want to graduate future doctors that understand the importance of household-centered care, of looking at everything that goes into the home and how it correlates to someone's health. For example, if you have a home where there's someone who is there's a family and there's a grandmother who recently arrived from somewhere else who did not work in the system, is not necessarily going to automatically be eligible for Social Security retirement. What are their options? That person would need health care, and that elderly person has diabetes, but there's not enough income in the house to go around to buy specific foods. So what do? You explore the options, whether it's applying for public assistance or supplementing what you have with what's available at the food banks.
Right. I love this program because it's not this assumption that you're just not taking care of yourself, and that's why you're in the hospital today, or that's why you're sick. It goes into like income factors. It goes into your background. It goes in for instance, like you are first immigrant that's immigrant. That's a completely different battlefield than some other people who were born here and have always had access to good, viable health care.
Right.
So I think that it kind of takes the mystery out of like what's going on in somebody's life, and it brings real life answers to things that are going on in every individual or every household. So I think that's fantastic. And you guys serve, so when you go to these households, from babies all the way to elderly, like there's no age.
There's no age, there's no immigration status or anything. Everything is confidential. So whether or not someone's insured or uninsured, newborn or elderly, it's more about where someone lives and their willingness to make time for students. It's an educational program.
Right.
At the forefront of what we do, we exist because we're part of the education. So our requirement is that someone makes time for our students 4 times a year. It's not a big ask, but in exchange, everyone that lives in the home, all the household members, related or not, they get access to us, the outreach team, and the medical students, and a doctor or a health professional who's going to come to visit them. It depends on the need of the person. Sometimes it's a master's level social work that work students who's going to be assigned if there's that need there. But we have to ensure their safety, and we have to ensure the participants are interested and willing to make time,
dedicated
for this, or are engaged also in their health. You have to want to help yourself. You have to want to access the healthcare and the services that you need.
Yeah. Well, this is an awesome initiative, and we'll make sure to put all your information as well and the video and stuff so people can reach out. But just to kind of turn the gears a little bit, I think it'll be really fun to talk about. You are an artist.
Yes.
And some credit, not just an artist, you are awesome at what you do. I've seen so many of your artwork, so many of your paintings, and it's absolutely beautiful. How did you know that you loved painting and drawing and doing all those things?
Well, that started as, people ask me that question a lot.
Yeah.
And I the first time I remember doodling was when I was 4. My mom would let me doodle in my baby album. And then what fascinated me was drawing my Barbie, because I'm big about drawing anatomy. I'm very good at drawing people and painting people.
Yeah.
So, and I have to credit my Barbie doll for that.
I love that.
So my godfather and my godmother gave me art supplies, and my mom, when she could, she would get me art supplies too. And she paid when she could for lessons for a couple of years when I was, I think, 11. And an amazing teacher, Sister Marguerite, who's a Canadian nun.
Yeah.
And she taught me the basics of portraiture and charcoal. But oils, I taught myself. That's why I consider myself a self-taught artist.
Right.
Because after I graduated from school, when I was trying to make up my mind, but making a living to support myself, I finally had money to buy art supplies, and I ventured into the world of oil painting. That is intimidating.
Yeah.
But I got a book and got the supplies and went to work. And then when I started painting some, Ali Kaya, who's an amazing photographer, I'll never forget, he looked at one of my first paintings and told me, this is great, but you need to dirty it up. You need to make sure that the ground is a little more dirty, because in Haiti everything's not squeaky clean like this. So I stopped being afraid of the canvas and really added paint, and that helped me evolve.
And so a lot of your paintings are paintings of Haiti. And so would you say that there's a story that you're trying to emulate in these paintings?
I think so. I always wondered why I paint the subject I paint. Well, I paint Haiti, but I also paint children.
Right.
It took me a long time to become a mom. I became a mom at 40 to my beautiful, adorable Natalie. And
she looks like your twin. It's so insane.
That's because you have not seen Willie. She came out looking like her father. But so I painted especially little girls. It's almost as if I knew I was going to have a little girl. But little girls fascinate me. It's just something about the way the sun would bounce off their skins in their pretty little dresses. I just love painting children. And the reason I paint about Haiti, specifically Marcassine, is that, I have not gone back to Haiti. While I could go back, I didn't have a green card. By the time I had a green card, the insecurity issue in Haiti had gotten to a point where it was not safe for me to go.
Right.
So I paint about the Haiti that I remember. It's almost kind of a Norman Rockwell approach to painting. Norman Rockwell painted the reality that he hoped the world would be.
Right.
He painted a very sanitized version of the world. I kind of do that through my Marcassines. I make sure I put in those beautiful Haitian mountains that I grew up with. I do the Marcassines from my memories of being taken to the marketplace. So I always tell this story that I was a chubby little kid, very greedy, and to go from my house in Pétionville to the marketplace was, a good 10, 15-minute walk. So they would bribe me with a piece of rapadou, which is dried molasses, if I would go along, because it was fun for them to have this little girl tagging along.
Yeah.
So I would be excited about the rapadou, but when I got there, all the senses were assaulted, if you will, by the beauty, like the sun shining on people's skin, the colorful mismatched dresses, the baskets, the fruits, the smells. Too bad you can't convey smell through paints.
Yeah.
But, and I remember those trips, and I remember seeing these beautiful people. And of course, in Pétionville, because it was a mountain, everything was had the background. So that's what I try to convey in my painting, that yes, life is tough, but it's about your perception.
Yeah.
I tend to be an optimist. My friends always joke that, if you're in a bad mood, just call Sophia. She'll cheer you up because she'll make you laugh.
Right.
So I show that in the tough life that people may be living, there are moments of happiness. A little kid sleeping in a basket, two ladies that are selling we call marchands, that are selling their wares, that are chatting in a moment of relaxation, but always those beautiful baskets, colorful vegetables and colorful fruits. And
I love that, because I feel like sometimes the narrative of Haiti is not always a positive one. And I think even now, how you say it is kind of, there are a lot of insecurities to even go see the island. And I've seen their beautiful waters and their beautiful mountains and videos and stuff like that. So I love that you captured the beauty of it and like what you remember Haiti to be. Also, that's where you're from.
Yes.
So it's better for you to write the story than somebody else. And so I love that. I think your paintings are very beautiful. I do think they capture Haiti very well. I think they capture the people of Haiti. All the Haitian people I've ever met do not go along with this narrative of what Haiti is. They are beautiful people. They are kind people. They're sweet people. They're nice people. And they're people who really appreciate their culture and where they're from. And no matter what people say about it, they're always prideful, like, no, I am Haitian. That's where I'm from. I love this. So I love that.
And you see, this is what's great about doing the work that I do with the Health Education Learning Program at FIU NeighborhoodHelp, is that it allows me to assist people of Miami. Miami is so diverse. We have Haitians like me, we have Jamaicans, Cubans, and Brazilians, and people from Argentina, Nicaragua, Venezuela, all kinds of folks, American folks that are native. But what everyone has in common is there's this common struggle to do the best and provide the best for your family. And Neighborhood Help allows my colleagues and I to help people get a little more out of what's available by understanding, because communication is a word that's very much at the forefront of what we're talking about lately. Communication is key. You have to be able to communicate what it is that you need and receive what you need. It's not just about what you think someone needs. So FIU does this well, in my opinion. When we go into communities, we don't tell communities what you need.
Right.
We find out from the communities what it is they need. And once we find out what you need, we do our best to try to help.
Yeah.
So my immigrant, my fellow immigrants, a member of the diaspora, whether it's Haitian diaspora, etc., and people who are born and raised or from their what we consider natives, we do our best to help by linking to services and by helping people understand how to help themselves.
Yeah. And I think I like the idea that, like, it's okay to ask for help. Because I think a lot of people who come to this country, they get here and then they're like, well, I'm here, so I got to figure it out. But I think that it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes you need a helping hand. Sometimes you need a conversation. Sometimes you need a resource that you didn't even know was available to you, and now it's there. So I like the idea that we're working together in a community to help those that just need a little help. Neighborhood help.
There's no shame in asking. I always say I wish I knew I had a program, I had access to a program like that when my family and I came, because we struggled,
Right.
at the beginning, but these resources here that are available to you, they're not available elsewhere.
No.
And that's what's amazing. I mean, the idea that a kid who is studious would be rewarded by getting access to a scholarship.
Right.
There are programs, even at FIU in the summer between my last 2 years, between sophomore and junior year and junior and senior year, I accessed a program at FIU called the PIP program. It's still existent, and they helped us figure out how to test well for the SATs, and then we took college level classes.
Yeah.
As a first-time college student, a first-generation college student, that made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And that's because somebody pointed me to the right direction.
That's very true. Well, I didn't even think about how you used your Bright Future Scholarship. Do you know how many Florida natives don't even know what that is? And I think it's so bizarre. I'm like, if I lived here for my 4 years of high school, I would have been like set in stone. So it really is just resources and knowledge and knowing the right people who can give you the resources and the knowledge.
And financial aid, too, because
Yes.
that's not the only thing. It's because of that and financial aid, knowing how to navigate that, to apply for these benefits and to help us graduate. And, the college experience is so important. When I was in college, I met my 4 best friends we've been friends ever since. And, most of them went on and became physicians. My girls, Debbie, Lucy, Liz, Beatrice, those are such important people because by surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals that have the same goals in life, that makes also a difference. That's your village.
Yeah.
That is just something that children hear their parents say and don't pay attention. Well, take it from someone who's older. It's all true. In French, we say, dis-moi qui tu fréquentes, je te dirai qui tu es. Tell me who you frequent.
Yeah.
I will tell you who you are.
Yes.
It's true. You are friends with people who have similar goals, and they'll push you.
They'll hold you accountable.
They'll hold you accountable. There's no goofing off in college. We're all on scholarship.
Right.
And if you're on scholarship and you don't do well, you're out.
Yes,
And you
exactly.
go back to the grind. So,
Well, Miss Sophia, I have really loved this conversation. And so we just like to wrap up the podcast with a word of the day. And so do you happen to have a word for us?
yes, communication.
And why is that?
Communication is so big in that you have to understand how to communicate what you intend to share and how it's going to be received.
Right.
You may have the best intentions in the world, but if you communicate in a way or at a moment when someone's not ready to receive it, or if you just don't communicate at all, you're doing both you and that person a disfavor.
Yeah.
Simple communication. And oftentimes, in order to properly communicate, you have to pause.
Right.
Don't communicate everything that comes to your mind at the time it comes to mind. You have to pause, think about it, digest it, and take into consideration how the person will receive it, and maybe adjust what you will communicate so that it's received in the best way possible and that it's received the way you intended it to be received.
That's
Just
great advice. Communicate. And sometimes it's better not to say anything at all. Well, thank you, Miss Sophia, for your time and joining us. And I love this conversation. And we'll be sure, as I said, to put all your information for anybody who is interested to know more about your program. And I'm excited to see all the work that you guys that has yet to come.
Thank you. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, is GFF Neighborhood Help. We post about what we do out in the community. And we'll welcome you to follow us and get in touch with us. We'll be happy to have that conversation, see how we can best help.
Yes, excellent. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And as always, a special thanks to our sponsors, the Children's Trust and Trinity Church. And don't forget that there are 3 ways in which you can listen or watch this podcast. If you'd like to listen, follow us on Apple or Spotify. If you'd like to watch, follow us on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and click that bell for post notifications.